what does this, this, and this all have in common? Time to run and gun. Ready for blast off? Let's go. Hey guys, Todd here with you. Welcome back to Bassin 101. Challenge denied. What a bunch of wusses. I belonged to a Facebook page about 3 or 4 years ago. It was a kayak fishing page. Was one of the Christian ones. And it was kind of a trendy kind of deal. But I sat around late December, early January, and I got to thinking, I was like, you know what? I'd like to fish a little more simpler this year. And of course, I learned a lot doing this. But I decided I would make a challenge to this Facebook page. So I posted on there, I said, okay, guys, for the next year, if you only had 5 rod and reels to choose from, 1 type of fishing line, including pound test, and 15 lures. Now, the 15 lures could be anything you want, as many colors as you want to carry in them, but just 15 lures, 5 rods and reels, 1 type of line, including pound weight. Who's willing to accept it? Guess what? Nobody did. I got so many comments, kind of thing, just slamming me left and right. I'm like, what is wrong with y'all? It's a challenge. If you're scared, say you're scared. If you're scared, say you're scared. Because it's an honest challenge. What I chose for myself, because I was man enough to go ahead and take my own challenge, because I had just got me a brand new set of diapers and I was ready to break them in. I chose 5 bait casting combos, 5.5 foot pistol grips, and I chose 14 pound XT green, because I always said if I had 1 line to fish the rest of my life, give me that right there. I've caught more bass off that than I have anything else, and it's virtually unbreakable. But 5.5 foot pistol grips, mediums and medium heavies is what I used. As far as fishing lures, I don't really remember right offhand, but I remember I had like a spinner bait, and trust me, this adds up quick. I had a spinner bait, buzz bait, I think 1, 2 different kind of top waters. I can almost guarantee you it was a pop R and a Zara spook, Bomber 7A, rattle trap. Oh gosh, as far as shallow runners, I think I chose a fat-free guppy. And as far as jigs, I had a jig. I had 1, 2, 3 different types of worms as far as worm styles. I had a jerk bait, a sluggo, a Senko, and can't remember the 15th off the top of my head. But anyway, but you get the point. And you know, that's a pretty good lineup. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, you can do anything you want to with that, because you know, since I picked casting equipment, 14 pound test, I'm not throwing finesse. Okay, I mean, you can throw lighter worms if you want. Oh, and I had a trick worm, Zoom trick worm. Okay, so there you go. So that was the 15 lures. And you know, and you can't really put worms into a category because it's going to have to be different styles of worms count as one lure. So it's, you know, but it surprised me nobody took me up on this. I'm sitting going, man, that's a shame. Everybody's like, oh, what if you got to do this, or what if you got to do that? It's like, well, I mean, it just depends on the situation. Carry something that's going to cover every situation. I hate to burst your bubble, but back in the day when it first started, I think all the way through about up to 87 or 88, correct me if I'm wrong, but the rule book said in the Bassmasters Classic, 5 rods and reels, 10 pounds of tackle, not including the tackle box. So they had to carry spare reels, spare line, everything else in this tackle box. And that was a plain 0777. And so it had the big bottom compartment and the thing that you can haul extra stuff in if you wanted to. But now, I didn't say anything about 10 pounds of tackle. I just said 15 lures. And these guys went nuts. I bet comments went on for 2 weeks. And they were just tearing me a new one. And I'm still going, what is wrong with you people? And it wasn't much longer after that. I told the page to go take a hike. Because that was just... I couldn't believe I was around a bunch of babies. Literally, I was. And, you know, I don't change diapers, so I got out of that pretty quick. But what do you think about something like that? I mean, you know, this would kind of fall to a simplify your fishing type thing. I'm not challenging you to do this for the year. I'm just saying this is a challenge I made. You can do it if you want. Maybe spend a trip or two this year trying that for one day. See how it works out for you. You'd be surprised how many times I go out and I've got, you know, 3 or 4 rods and reels laid out, and there's like one lure on each one of them, and that's what I'm throwing for the day. You know, so I don't take a whole lot of stuff with me as far as tackle goes. And, you know, sometimes I do. It just depends on if I'm really wanting to find out what they're doing, what kind of pattern they're on, or this, that, and the other. And then, yeah, I'll take, you know, 4 or 5 rods of reels, and I'll take a bunch of tackle with me that I can kind of switch around back and forth, figure out what's going on. But normally I don't stay out more than 4 or 5 hours. It's just a river behind the house, and it's just easy to get to, and I can get my little fishing niche on. But thankfully, woohoo, praise God, I'm back on the water. Everything felt good. I was out there last week, so everything felt pretty good. But regardless, that was the challenge I laid out, and you know, nobody took me up on it, and that's sad. You know, I mean, you can usually put 15 lures in one of these little sidekicks, or a Plano 3700, or, you know, even a different type of Plano box you can get, or just a couple 3600s and throw them in a bag, and, you know. But golly, man, I mean, you know, this right here, I had people fussing at me about this. So that line's junk. It ain't worth a crap. And I use P line, and I use this, and I use that. It's like, okay, so choose that. But I hate to tell you this, you can't say this is crap, because this has been made for almost 50 years. Still around. That's crap. But I'm not trying to promote this. I'm just saying you can't say stuff like that because it's still around. People still use it. I mean, you can't say it's junk. As far as rods and reels, they told me I was a moron, that you can't catch fish on these. If you caught a big bass, there's no way you can handle them with the pistol grip, even though people were doing it for decades and decades until straight handles popped out in around 1980. People just don't think. But that was a challenge I did. Somebody asked me about that in the comments, and I told them, I said, I'll go ahead and do a video on that, because it was definitely interesting to experience that, and I thought it was sad. And you know, if you're trying to learn to simplify your things and figure out what you really have confidence in, what you really don't have confidence in, try this challenge. You don't have to do it for the whole year, guys. I mean, if you want to, go for it. But I did. I thought it was really eye-opening to me. I learned what my strengths were and what lures I just really don't. You know, I had them in there, never touched them. That was kind of interesting too. So I learned a lot doing that. But if you want to set aside 4 or 5 days this year and take one day and do that. 5 rod and reel combos, 1 line, 1 pound test, and 15 lures. You'd be surprised what you might learn. I'm not going to dog you for not doing it. So, but I learned a lot when I did that. So I thought it was really interesting. So I wanted to throw this out to you guys and see what you think of it and see what you think about the response I got from these people. I mean, it was pathetic. It really was. Not one single person came out to defend me. They said I was an idiot. So I ate crayons. Big deal. Anyway, that's all I have for today, guys. So until next time, may the Father bless you and keep you in Yeshua's name. And as always, fish on.